Welcome to or welcome back to the channel, whichever one it is. As always, I'm just really glad that you're here. Right, it's a bit of a different video this week. You probably noticed no rifle behind me. The video got missed last week purely because I had problems with the camera. I've just noticed there's a crack in the lens as well, which is frustrating me, but we'll move on. I had problems with the batteries, fixed that now, so we're back. But I'm not doing the video that I was doing last week. The video I was doing last week was the TX200 alongside the HW77, and I will still do that video, but something's developed in the ads hunts world. And I just want to explain a few things about it. But first, just covered at the spearfishing shop, so I'm going to have to get changed. Give me 2 seconds. There we go. Right. So, fresh t-shirt. Something cool happened. Let me fill you in. Look. So here you go. Look. These are the new guns in my collection. There's a long story about how they came about. It was a house clearance at a friend's dad's neighbour's house. The family live in Australia, and they just wanted these all to get picked up and taken away, something done with them before the clearance company came and skipped them all. They're not in the best condition. They're pretty rusty, like they are going to need a lot of work, but that's right up my street. So what have we got here? We've got a BSA Cadet Major, we've got a Webley Model 22, a TX200 in 177, and I've got a TX200 in 22, so that was a bonus. A Diana Model 52, that's a HW 57, and those of you who've been watching this for a while will know that I've actually got a bit of a collection of HWs on the go at the moment, so that's definitely staying. And an Anschutz, I can't remember which model that is. Model 335, Anschutz Model 335. They're all in 177. There was also a lot of vintage scopes. That one's not vintage, obviously, but a lot of older scopes, loads of other bits and pieces. There's a lot of work that needs to be done to them, but we're going to talk about that now. Now, obviously, this doesn't happen every day. I'll put a picture here of everything that came with it all. It was a lot of gun stocks, and it was these. There was also another rifle there. It was a BSA Superstar. Basically, it was just the action. And then in amongst all the stocks that were there was the BSA Superstar stock, but it didn't have any stock bolts, so I've left that one for now. It also looks very intricate when it comes to taking it apart, and I can't find any video. So what I'll do is I'll rely on the hive mind. If there's anybody out there who knows anybody who's ever dealt with a BSA Superstar, I'll put a picture of the trigger mechanism here. Now that trigger mechanism all has to come apart in order for it to be blued. So I'm going to be leaving that one for a while. I've got plenty to be getting on with. So what I'm going to do in this video, basically, I'm going to go through them all. We'll have a look, we'll see what condition they're in, what I'm planning on doing with it. We'll shoot it and we'll chronograph them and see what's going on. I don't know anything about them. All of them will come apart at some point because I'm going to have to check the internals, but yeah, absolutely buzzing. Now this used to be somebody's collection and I'm very aware of that, and I don't want to come across like I'm being disrespectful in any way. So I just want to say that I'm not profiting at all from any of this. Anything that gets sold will get pumped back into these rifles, or some of the sales from the stocks and so on and so forth. I'm going to donate some of the money to the charity that set this all up for me, to the horse charity that sorted it all out, because I think karmically that will make me feel a lot better. But with that said, rather than these going to a house clearance company who might well have scrapped a couple of them because they're not looking particularly pretty. As you can see, you probably can't see very well on that. There you go. Because they're not looking particularly pretty, some of them might well have ended up in the skip. This one, for instance, I'll set a picture here again. When I got it, you couldn't move this. Absolutely couldn't move this. So somebody would have gone like that a few times and binned it. This is not a binnable gun. This, now, after a lot of working on, actually cocks. So, so this is the one I'm going to talk about first. This is the BSA Cadet Major. No, actually, no, scratch that. Let's start with this one. Sorry, this is a Diana Model 22. Now, this one does cock. It doesn't fire very powerful, I've got to be honest. The pellet basically wouldn't make it to the end of this cabin. So it would need a lot of work. I've just brought it into D-Range just to introduce it onto the channel. Darren absolutely loves it, and he'd love to display it somewhere. And I think that's the right thing to do with it. So this one isn't going to stay a part of my collection. This is going straight to Darren, and Darren's going to put it on a wall somewhere so that other people can enjoy it. At least it's going to get use. So I'm happy with the outcome for what's going to be happening with that one. Let's move on to this one. I'm going to be refurbishing this one. I really like it. I think it's a gorgeous little gun, and it's going to need one hell of a lot of work. All right, I've moved over here for a second so that you can actually see the condition of this is very, very poor. It's very old, you know, it's knocking on a little bit. I'm not sure of the age of it yet. This is all research that I'm going to have to do, but look at that. BSA on it. nicely grooved up there. It does cock, not very well, so I'm not going to put a pellet in it. The reason I'm not putting a pellet in it is because I don't want to risk marring it up or scarring it up. So this one I'm just going to keep to one side for now. That's why I've done this one first. That's why we looked at this one first. This is the BSA Cadet Major. Absolutely love it. So then we're going to move on to, this is Anschutz Model 335. Now, I've never dealt with anything to do with Anschutz, but the feel of the rifle itself is very, very nice. It feels very comfortable to hold. And I think that, I'm not sure, again, the hive mind, if you're active, it's got a dovetail mount on the front for a foresight, sorry. And then it's got a place at the back, but it's also got these here. So would that be a place where a sight would have been mounted? Up here, look, it's got places there. So could you have put sights there? I don't know. It's got a dovetail at the back so that you can put a scope on it. But to cock this one, you have to pull that little lever forward and it breaks that way. This little lever here. So the it locks back very, very tight. So it's got a bit of a grind when it cocks, but the barrel looks pretty clear. So I'm going to put a pellet in it and see what it chronos at. So I've set my chrono up. I've just taken a shot with it. The first one was 770. So I'll have to put that into a ballistics calculator in a minute and find out. So for the first, I'm going to just do 5 through there. 661, 661, 770, so 771, sorry, 771 they were. So I've had 2 770s, 2 771s. Right, so I've had 3 at 761 and 2 at 770. So we're going to go on to a muzzle energy calculator. The projectile weight is 7.87. I'm using the Air Arms Diablo Express because that's just the ones we had here. And the muzzle, 766 on average. So foot pounds, 10.26. That's very respectable. So what I'm going to try and do is very quickly off camera, give it a little 0 and see whether or not I can actually hit any targets with it. And then we'll be done with this one. It's hellish nice to shoot though, I've got to be honest. It's really good to shoot. Right, so I'll put a target up over there now. I'm only going to take a few shots, nothing major. This isn't about being precise or anything like that. I just want to know what they shoot like. And I would have been making this video regardless. Or I would have been doing this anyway regardless. So I thought I might as well make a video of it. I thought it might be something that you guys enjoyed. Now, in zeroing the scope up a little bit, I used to think that this was a pain in the backside. But actually, it's one movement. So it's one fluid movement, basically. I was gonna complain about it and say, you know, why have they put an extra step in? But realistically, it just works, so that's fine. There's no safety on it, which I am a bit concerned about. And the other thing that I've noticed is that there is no second stage on the trigger. It's just all the way through until it goes, which I'm not used to. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. I'm just not used to it is all. So I'm gonna take 5 shots at that little dot there a second. Okay, yeah, not too bad. Now, that's over 25 meters and there is some discrepancy, I get it. I think that the scope's attached properly. It might be down to the rifle needing a service, I don't know. But it could also be the fact that I'm really not used to a trigger that doesn't have a second stage. All the rifles I've ever fired have had 2 stages on the trigger. So it's kind of just keep going until it pops. So that could be down to me. But with that said, I absolutely love it. What absolute brilliant bit of kit. But the Anschutz Model 335, that is definitely something I'm really keen to fix up and keep as part of my kit because, yeah, I think it's got potential. I really like it. Forgot the bloody mic again, didn't I? So next we're going to do the HW57. And the HW57, for those of you who know my channel well, will know I'm a big HW fan. I love Viroc, love everything they've done. And all the rifles that I've been lucky enough to acquire, I've been very happy with. Now this one, the HW57, people didn't rave about this one as much as they did with the other ones, but I'm quite keen to find out for myself. All I will say is that when I cock this one, there are some strange noises. So this one's definitely going to be coming apart, definitely going to need a full service and definitely going to need some work. And as you can tell, that is some deep, deep rust patches. I don't think just polishing them out is going to do the trick. So looking forward to it. And you might be thinking to yourself, why don't you just do all 5 through the chronograph and be done with it? There's a very good reason for that. The reason being, I'll shoot the chronograph and I don't want to shoot the chronograph So I fired 5 blind through the chronograph so I can keep an eye on what I'm shooting. Oh, well that popped up well. I don't know if it's meant to come out. Okay, so that's worth remembering. I'll have to check that, whether or not that is due to come out, but then the pellet just goes straight into that there. Or you can actually cock it fully and then do that so that you're actually fully safe. Same safety catch, actually the same trigger as well. It's a record trigger, which I'm really pleased about because I love the record trigger. Let's try it. Right, that's an error. Maybe I was too close. Right, 659. It is definitely crunchy, definitely crunchy. I'm looking forward to ripping this one apart actually and seeing how this one's been put together, because I've had a couple of Virocs apart now. 666, 680, 666 again, 666 again. So we'll go with about 670 and see what that's saying. 7.85. So this one I know is probably more capable than that. So I'm going to definitely have to take this one apart. What I will say though is I don't feel comfortable firing another 5 shots with it, purely because every time I'm cocking it, it is crunchy. I don't want to knacker anything up too much. The 5 shots that I've took, I think, are enough. I'm not going to push my luck. So if it's all the same to the rest of you, I know what it's doing now, foot poundage wise, and it's grossly underpowered. So that means that tells me there's something going on inside there. So I don't want to take the mickey. So if it's all the same to everyone else, I'm just going to leave that one there for a minute. Looking forward to it though. So now I'm going to try this beastie here. This is a Dyna Model 52 and it is a lump of a rifle. It's a side lever for those of you who don't know. So it cocks this way. I haven't, a few days ago when I got these, I haven't actually cocked this one and tried to fire it. The safety catch is on the back here by the looks of it. I think that's the safety catch there. All in all, the condition of this one isn't as bad as all the rest. There is a chance that even if I take it apart, it might just need a polish up and it might need a good clean. If I do have to re-blue it, it won't be that big a deal. But again, I've never taken one of these apart, so I'm looking forward to seeing what it looks like inside. Cocking this one, as I said, is straight back. Oh, it's got a bear trap, anti-bear trap as well. I'm gonna hold it there and I'm gonna put the pellet in. Now, I've got to be honest, that looks gnarly in there. Gnarly as in sketchy. I'm gonna bring this over. If you've never seen inside the mouth of one of these beasts, right, there's teeth in there for the bear trap. It looks like at any second, mistreat it, it's biting your fingers off. But there is a button there for the anti-bear trap. So you put, oh, I see, you push that, the bear trap disappears and it closes. Beautiful. Right, let's go with the chrono again. Safety catch is that little button on the back. It's got a smack to it. 726. That's a nice smooth action though. Although it looks like an afterthought, the safety's quite sweet as well. It's pretty good. 735. 735 again. 735 again. Consistent. 735. I'm going to do another one. I'm intrigued by that. 735. That's a very consistent 735. So let's have a look here. 9.44. See, that doesn't really worry me. This is never going to be something I'd use for hunting. If this is accurate, if this is accurate, I'm more than happy with that. That'd be absolutely fine. Let's get a scope put on it and see what it right, I'm going to try that again. Let's get a scope put on it and see how it groups. Just give me a sec. All right, so I've got a quick 0 on it. There's no magnets on my pacemaker today. Thank you very much. Right, so I've got a quick 0 on it. Don't be looking at accuracy too much though. Number one, it's me shooting it still. And number two, these guns are definitely going to need a little bit of help as time goes on. I just want to know today what they're like to shoot. The shot cycle on this, when I was 0ing it, it was starting to frustrate me to start with, but I've got the hang of it now. If I hold it there, stick my pellet in there, it's not that difficult. The safety catch is great, and the trigger's not too bad, but let's see what it's like over 5 shots. Holding on to this handle, because the teeth in there, it just looks really menacing in there, to be honest. Well, the first 2 went absolutely fantastic, didn't they? Now I'm just wondering, it could be the scope, I don't know. I'm not going to make excuses for it, this isn't about that, but this is very, very good to shoot. It's loud, but trigger is first stage, it's pretty good. and it sears a treat. Well, I personally think that that is bloody good. Innit? What a gun. I'm not going to be looking to increase the power on this at all. I think that with the scope attached properly, I mean, it might have moved like a millimetre, I don't know, because like I said, this scope's going to be off and on. And actually, there was a whole host of scopes that came with all of these, and I haven't had a chance to go through them all yet, but the only reason that I'm using this one, and I'll tell you what it is now, is a Tasco. It's a Tasco pronghorn 3-9, I think it was. Yeah, it's a 3-9 Tasco pronghorn. The only reason I'm using this one is quite simply because it's got that single mounting block, and it's a lot easier to take on and off of stuff. But this, what a gun. I'd never have bought one of these. I never would have bought one. John on Hawkseye TV did a review of the one that come after this, where everything moves. It's the anti-recoil one. I find the recoil on this to be pretty cool. It feels great to shoot. And the two that went straight off a little bit, you can put them down to me. I reckon that this is a pellet on pellet gun all day long, so I'm very happy with it. So, finishing off with this. Now I'm gonna adjust the camera for this bit. The first rifle that I had any dealings with fixing and rebluing and trying to make into something, trying to make it my own, was a TX200. I never thought I was going to get the chance to own one, so I picked that one up very, very cheap because it was in pretty poor condition, and I've reblued it. There is a video on my channel where I've sanded the stock back, give it a really nice patina. I think it looks great. I love my TX200, and that's in .22 caliber. This one is in .177 caliber. Now, this one is in decidedly worse condition than the one that I picked up. I don't know if you can see that. This is going to need, without question, rebluing. Fortunately, I know how to do that because I have had one of these apart before, like I said. The stock is a custom thumb hole in or up. You know, it's a nice stock. Not for me, I got to be honest. In amongst all of the stocks was a TX200 stock. So this one's going to go back in that one, and I'm going to sell this stock. But it is a good stock. Actually, it is very comfortable. It's just not for me. I think I prefer the other one. So it'll get the same treatment. It's going to be 5 through the chrono and 5 down on the target. So I've not cocked this one yet. It looks relatively clean in there, to be fair. It looks quite nice and tidy. I'm going to hold on to it because, again, I don't know anything about these rifles. The anti-bear trap works. The anti-bear release works. Trigger safety works. 799. 799. Two 799s. Then a 789. 799 again. Right, okay. Let's do one more minute and see if it stays at 799. Ah, see, 799. So it's 799, 799, 789, 799, 799. I've just done another one. It's 789 again. So I'm going to do 795 as about the average and see what it's saying. 11 foot-pounds, 11.05. Well, that isn't bad. Oh, by the way, I'm using the Snappy Targets muzzle energy calculator, if anybody hasn't heard of that. Snappy Targets. So thank you very much for the free app there. It's very useful. But 11 foot-pounds, fine with that, no problem. Right, we get the scope on it, get it roughly dialed in, and we'll take it from there. Having so much fun, by the way. Thank you so much for humouring me on this. It just occurred to me, this is a bit of a weird one from me this week, I get that. This I had to do anyway. I wanted to test these, I wanted to try them out, and I wanted to see what was happening with them. And I thought it'd be a good video. If it's not the video that you were hoping it would be, I do apologise, but it's been great for me. I've had a whale of a time so far. I've got kind of a zero on this one now. This was a little bit more tricky to zero than the rest of them. There's no arrestor pin on this mount or on the other one. And this seems to have a lot more recoil, and it seems to throw the throw the scope backwards a little bit more, but I will keep an eye on it. I've marked it now, so I know where it is. Hopefully it's going to stay in the same place. But again, it's not about accuracy for this. It's about what it shoots like and all of that sort of stuff. And I've got to be honest, zeroing it, I actually do quite like this stock. I still think I prefer the other one, but we'll see. Time will tell on that. So I'm going to go for the little dot again. Right, I haven't hit the dot anywhere near it, but let's just see what it groups like. see what it goes like for now. I think it is actually throwing the scope off a little bit as well, so the scope has definitely moved, to be fair. I haven't got an arrestor pin. I'm not really that bothered. We know that these are good rifles, and hopefully, let's just fire this last one a minute. Okay. So it has moved a little bit backwards. I've tightened it up as much as I could, but I'm not really that bothered. It's a TX200, for Christ's sake. It's a brilliant gun, and that stock is actually really comfortable, which has thrown me into a little bit of turmoil now because, to be honest, I do think I'm still going to shift it on. I do think I'm going to still sell this stock. I don't think there's anything that I would benefit from, and aesthetically, I've got a bit of a nice collection of good classic wooden stocks going now, and they all look pretty smart. So, but we'll see what happens. We'll see. Right. So this is a bit of a different one for me this week. And I'm glad you indulged me because honestly, things like this don't happen, do they? Things like that don't happen. And I know there's a sad story that goes before these rifles. Well, it was a good story up until a point, and obviously there is some sad that goes with it. So hopefully I could show a little bit of respect to them by cleaning them up and putting them into good use. I did originally think about shifting them on and trying to get myself a new rifle for the channel and all that sort of thing. But I gotta be honest, that Diana 52, I would never have bought one of those rifles. And just shooting it, the 10 shots that I've taken with it today has blown me away. The Anschuts, I can't wait to get that one. Get it apart and get these things cleaned up. So, although it does have a sort of, there is a bit of sweet side to it, I guess, there is still a sweet side. And that sweet side is going to be that I am going to put some love into them, I am going to put some attention into them, and they are going to live on as part of my collection. Yeah, all in all, I'm over the moon with it. So thanks for indulging me in this one. Any input, put it in the comments. Like I said, I've got that Superstar, the BSA Superstar. I've got no idea how to go about taking that thing apart. The trigger mechanism housing is part of the rifle housing, so I have to take all of the trigger mechanism apart. So if anyone's got any information about the BSA Superstar that they could point me in the direction of, I can't find any videos or anything. So I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for watching. So like and subscribe if you want to, but as always, you don't have to. It means a lot to me if you do, but it doesn't matter if you don't. I just thank you very much for watching this and making me part of your YouTube experience today. After all, it is your YouTube. You do what you like with it. Just do whatever makes you happy, because that makes me happy. So see you in the next video. Take care. Cheers and bye.